Do you find yourself weighed down by old grudges or resentments? If so, you're not alone. Many of us struggle with the burden of unforgiveness, often without realizing how much it impacts our lives. Today, we're going to explore how forgiveness can be a key to unlocking a happier, healthier future. Let's start by looking at the weight of holding grudges. When we cling to past hurts, we carry a heavy emotional load. This burden affects our mental health in profound ways. It can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even depression. We might find ourselves constantly replaying old arguments or painful situations in our minds, unable to move forward. This mental loop keeps us trapped in negative emotions, preventing us from fully enjoying the present moment. But the effects of unforgiveness aren't just mental, they're physical too. Our bodies react to the stress of holding on to resentment. We might experience tension headaches, muscle pain, or difficulty sleeping. Some studies have even linked chronic anger and resentment to more serious health issues like high blood pressure and heart problems. By holding on to these negative feelings, we're essentially putting our bodies under constant stress, which can have long-term consequences for our health and well-being. Now let's clear up what forgiveness really means. Many people misunderstand forgiveness, thinking it means forgetting what happened or excusing bad behavior. That's not the case at all. Forgiveness doesn't mean saying that what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you have to reconcile with the person who hurt you or allow them back into your life. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the negative emotions tied to the event. It's a choice you make for your own peace of mind, regardless of the other person's actions or attitude. Forgiveness is a way of letting go of the anger, resentment, and desire for revenge that can consume us. It's about changing our own emotional state, not about changing the past or the other person. When we forgive, we're not saying that the hurt didn't matter or that it wasn't real. We're simply choosing not to let that hurt control our lives anymore. The science behind forgiveness is fascinating. Researchers have studied the effects of forgiveness on our mental and physical health, and the results are compelling. People who practice forgiveness tend to have lower levels of anxiety and depression. They often report feeling more hopeful about the future and more satisfied with their lives overall. Forgiveness has been linked to better sleep quality, lower blood pressure, and even a stronger immune system. Brain imaging studies have shown that forgiveness actually changes our brain activity. When we forgive, we see decreased activity in areas of the brain associated with negative emotions and increased activity in areas associated with empathy and understanding. This shift in brain activity can lead to a more positive outlook on life and improved relationships with others. So how do we start forgiving? It's not always easy, but there are steps we can take. The first step is acknowledging the pain. We need to be honest with ourselves about how we've been hurt and how it's affecting us. This might mean talking to a trusted friend or writing in a journal. The important thing is to allow ourselves to feel and express those emotions without judgment. The next step is making a conscious choice to let go. This doesn't mean we'll instantly feel better, but it does mean we're committing to the process of forgiveness. We're deciding that we don't want to be controlled by these negative feelings anymore. This choice is powerful. It puts us back in control of our emotional state. Practicing empathy can also help in the forgiveness process. This doesn't mean excusing the other person's behavior, but trying to understand where they might have been coming from. Maybe they were going through a difficult time or acting out of their own pain. Understanding this doesn't make their actions right, but it can help us let go of some of our anger. Of course, there are often obstacles to forgiveness. One of the biggest challenges is dealing with strong emotions. When we've been deeply hurt, feelings of anger, betrayal, or sadness can be overwhelming. It's important to remember that these feelings are normal and valid. We shouldn't try to push them away or pretend they don't exist. Instead, we can acknowledge them and work through them gradually. Another common obstacle is when the other person isn't sorry for what they did. It can be hard to forgive someone who doesn't seem to care about the pain they caused. But remember, forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about freeing ourselves. We can choose to forgive even if the other person never apologizes or takes responsibility for their actions. An often overlooked aspect of forgiveness is self-forgiveness. Many of us find it easier to forgive others than to forgive ourselves. We might hold on to guilt or shame for past mistakes, constantly beating ourselves up over things we can't change. But self-forgiveness is just as important as forgiving others. It allows us to learn from our mistakes and move forward, rather than being stuck in self-blame and regret. Why do we struggle to forgive ourselves? Often it's because we hold ourselves to impossibly high standards. We might think that by punishing ourselves, we're somehow making up for our mistakes. But this self-punishment doesn't actually help anyone. It just keeps us stuck in negative patterns. Learning to forgive ourselves can be a powerful step towards healing and personal growth. When we practice forgiveness, both of others and ourselves, it creates a ripple effect. Our relationships often improve as we let go of old grudges and resentments. We become more open to connecting with others and less likely to take offense at small slights. This can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships with friends, family, and even colleagues. On a larger scale, forgiveness can contribute to creating a more compassionate society. When we model forgiveness in our own lives, we inspire others to do the same. Imagine a world where people were quicker to forgive and slower to hold grudges. It could lead to less conflict, more understanding, and greater cooperation at all levels of society. While we won't use specific examples of individuals, it's worth noting that there are many real-life stories of people who have chosen forgiveness in difficult circumstances. These stories often share common themes: the initial struggle with anger and pain, the decision to forgive, and the sense of freedom and peace that follows. Many people report that choosing forgiveness allowed them to move forward with their lives in ways they never thought possible. Those who have practiced forgiveness often describe positive changes in their lives. They report feeling lighter, as if a burden has been lifted from their shoulders. Many find that they have more energy for the things they enjoy, rather than spending that energy on maintaining grudges. Some even describe improved physical health, with reductions in stress-related symptoms. There are various tools and techniques that can help us practice forgiveness. Meditation and mindfulness exercises can be particularly helpful. These practices can help us observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. We might notice angry or resentful thoughts arise, but instead of feeding into them, we can choose to let them go. Writing can also be a powerful tool for forgiveness. Some people find it helpful to write letters to those who have hurt them, expressing their feelings and their decision to forgive. These letters don't need to be sent. The act of writing itself can be cathartic and healing. Others might prefer to keep a forgiveness journal where they can reflect on their progress and challenges in the forgiveness process. It's important to remember that forgiveness is often an ongoing process, not a one-time event. We might need to forgive the same hurt multiple times as feelings of anger or resentment resurface. This is normal and doesn't mean we're failing at forgiveness. Each time we choose to forgive again, we're strengthening our ability to let go and move forward. There may be setbacks along the way, and that's okay. We might have days where we feel like we've taken a step backward, where the old hurt feels fresh again. When this happens, it's important to be gentle with ourselves. We can acknowledge these feelings without judgment and then gently remind ourselves of our commitment to forgiveness. As we practice forgiveness, we often find a sense of freedom. We're no longer chained to the past, constantly reliving old hurts. This freedom allows us to be more present in our current relationships and experiences. We might find ourselves more open to new opportunities and experiences, no longer held back by fear or resentment. Forgiveness also opens us up to new possibilities. When we're not spending our energy on maintaining grudges, we have more resources available for positive pursuits. We might find ourselves pursuing new hobbies, deepening our relationships, or taking on challenges we previously avoided. The energy we once spent on resentment can be redirected towards personal growth and achieving our goals. Remember, the journey of forgiveness is unique for each person. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, and what works for one person might not work for another. The important thing is to be patient with yourself and to keep moving forward, even if progress feels slow at times. I want to encourage you to take the first step towards forgiveness in your own life. It might be forgiving someone else, or it might be forgiving yourself. Start small if you need to. Maybe there's a minor annoyance you can let go of today. Remember, every act of forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a lighter, freer life. Forgiveness isn't always easy, but it's a powerful tool for healing and growth. By choosing to forgive, we're not changing the past, but we are changing our future. We're freeing ourselves from the burden of past hurts and opening ourselves up to new possibilities. I hope this video has given you some insight into the power of forgiveness and some tools to start practicing it in your own life. Remember, forgiveness is a journey, and every step you take is valuable. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and keep moving forward. Thank you for watching this video on the power of forgiveness and healing past wounds. If you found this information helpful, please consider sharing it with others who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on personal growth and well-being. Until next time, take care and be kind to yourself.